Thank you for coming on and taking the time to do this. It's very nice, thank you. All right, so question one. Where did you originally live?
Okay. First, my name is Mirta Rubio. I'm originally from Chile. I was born in Santiago in 1946, and I has been living in the state for almost 50 years.
All right. To which new culture did you move to?
I moved from Latin. Originally, my language is Spanish, but the country belonged to Latin American continent.
Where did you move to?
I moved from Santiago to Washington, D.C.
How long have you been here?
Like I told you, around 50 years.
When did you move here?
Exactly, I moved on a Thanksgiving Day, 1970.
Why did you move here?
The reason that I moved it was that my husband was he received an offer to come to work in an international organization.
Okay. Did you have to learn a new language?
Yes, I didn't know a word in English, so for me it was a big challenge to come to a country where I cannot manage the language.
How long did it take you to learn the language?
I'm learning until now because it's very difficult to manage a language when you live in a environment that still people talk, all your friends talk in Spanish.
Yeah. Was the food different?
The food, it was not that much different, but I encountered new things that I didn't try before.
Did you like the food?
Some, not all, but you get accustomed.
Yeah. Was it hard finding a job at first?
For me, it was not hard. The problem with me that your grandpa came with a job that the spouses were not allowed to work in the state. So even though I was always looking for something to do, a formal job, I couldn't get it. I just did a lot of volunteer jobs.
How did you get places when you first moved?
Usually by public transportation at the beginning. I tried to use the public transportation because I didn't know how to drive at that time.
Where did you live when you first moved?
When I first moved, I lived in Virginia, in a very nice place that we call the area, it is Falls Church. That was my place, my first, home there.
When did you move to Washington, D.C.?
I moved to Washington, D.C. almost, I have been living, this is the thing, Falls Church is also called like a metropolitan area. So my husband was working in D.C., but I have my place, my home, it was like 10 minutes from D.C. Okay. So I was very close to the D.C. area.
How was the climate? Was it different or the same?
Oh, it was amazing. Since we arrived on Thanksgiving Day, it was that year. It was one of the most, snowy year. So we have a lot of snow and an amazing Christmas snowy day too. Yes.
Did you do anything for the holidays?
Holidays like there were different kind of holidays, but since I'm very religious, for me, I can distinguish if they are religious holidays or just say like a patriotic holidays. For religious, we usually celebrate it with a mass or church. But the patriotic, we go to visit places like the cemetery of Arlington. That's one example of the holidays.
Were the clothes you wore different?
Not that different, because I was coming from a country that we have very, very 4 seasons exactly like here. We have very clear the winter, the summer, the spring, so the kind of clothes were almost the same.
Did any family visit you?
At the beginning, no, and I really missed that part. Yeah.
Did you visit any of them?
Yes, we tried to travel to see, because my mom or my family was in Chile. We tried every year to go and visit them.
Was the supermarket different than in Chile?
The supermarket, depend where you used to live. For the people who lives in the city in Chile, supermarkets were almost the same. But for the people who live in the kind of the countryside, they didn't use supermarket. They went to fairs. They find every week it's a huge fresh products.
Did you have any friends in America?
No, at that time when I just arrived, I didn't know anybody. And I feel very lonely, yes. I really, 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 I think that was, the hardest part when we arrived, the first year at least, that I didn't know anybody and tried to survive my solitude. Yes.
Were there any holidays that were new to you?
Any other? What's the question?
Were there any holidays that were new to you?
Of course, yes. Thanksgiving, this is a very special day in America. We didn't have it in Chile. And the rest, I think, is almost the same. It's just depend on the history of every country. They celebrate holidays like the 4th of July, for example. Here, we have it in Chile on September 18. That is almost kind of the same celebration.
In Chile, did they have pets?
Yes, I mean, we had pets, but the way we take care of the pets were very different. It was not common to have pets inside the houses. Dogs had to be outside of the house. Was almost never inside the house. That's a very, very big difference. But now it's like in America. They can raise or take care of the dogs inside the house with any problem. Yeah.
How did this experience change your life?
Totally. This experience changed my life totally. First, because I came to the States after I finished my law school, and I project myself like working in Chile in a court, practicing my law degree. And when I arrived to this country, I found out that I couldn't practice my profession for several reasons. First, because I was not allowed to work. The visa, the permit that they gave me to stay in the state said, no, you cannot work here. And then I said, well, if I cannot work, I want to continue my studies. So I tried to reach universities or colleges where I can do something, and it was so expensive that I couldn't afford it. And because my status was not like a citizen, I couldn't apply for loans for financial, help. So I said, okay, what can I do here? I cannot do many things, and really, I was not expecting to have babies at the time, but since I didn't have any kind of a future in my life, I said, okay, let's start a family. So I decided, okay, I kind of closed the chapter of my law school and I started to be a mom. That was a very different life.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
In this interview, are we kind of finishing, or we can continue? But do you have more questions?
No, I have no more questions.
No more questions? Okay. Yes, I will tell you that being an immigrant in a place, it's not just America. In any place where you don't have the language and you don't have anybody to look for you or to help you, it is a very difficult situation in life. And thanks God, with the years to come, I got like connections, and I have right now very great friends, but you had to make a huge effort to look for them, because if not, it's very sad. It's very like depressive. See, and I am very grateful that I had my 3 kids healthy, and through them I built bridges in the schools, in college, in universities, and family. So I don't have any regrets right now. I'm so blessed, and yes, coming to the States changed my life, but just for good.
Thank you
You're
so much.
very welcome. Very, very welcome.